everybody, it's Caitlin here. I'd like to continue with the debate, and the two issues that I'm going to refute would be the topic of contention in the profession over the DNP degree, and the fact that the other group raised question as to the appropriateness of the DNP degree for the educational setting. So with that being said, Group 2 provided an argument that the DNP degree caused contention within the profession, and specific points that were raised were the following: that the DNP degree was a costly and burdensome degree to attain, that the degree caused conflict between nurses and within the profession, and that the mandate by the Institute of Medicine and the AACN that all nurse practitioners have a DNP degree as a degree for terminal practice would potentially result in fewer nurse practitioners overall. My refutation to the argument that the DNP degree causes contention within the profession is multifold. First of all, regarding the cost and burden of attaining the degree, more than 70% of doctoral students, both DNP and PhDs, receive financial support to finance their education. A prime example of this would be the Nurse Faculty Loan Program that we all take advantage of. DNP programs are popular because they almost always contain fewer credit hours than PhD programs, and therefore require less time and have lower tuition costs. Literature suggests that the growth of DNP programs and the rate of graduates surpasses that of PhD programs, indicating that there is an interest and a viability in clinically focused terminal nursing degrees. Regarding interpersonal and interprofessional conflict, Group 2 argues that conflict can arise between DNP-prepared nurses and other healthcare professionals, and even patients. The fact that role confusion, ambiguity, and overlap exist among DNP graduates and within the nursing profession is well documented in the literature and can't be denied. Disagreement stems around issues such as educational preparation, ability to conduct research and contribute to the body of nursing knowledge, and suitability for various roles in different practice settings. A recent trend in the literature, however, is for advanced practice nurses to adopt a culture of inclusion for all nursing degrees and develop innovative strategies to collaborate, share resources, and foster collegial relationships within the profession. Furthermore, the DNP has leadership skills which equip them to deal with conflicts that are inherent in any group. And these leadership skills are possessed by virtue of the competencies of essential competencies of practice, particularly Essential 2, which is organizational and systems leadership for quality improvement and systems thinking. Regarding the professional mandates raised by Group 2, regarding that nurse practitioners will need a DNP degree for advanced practice, and that might negatively impact the number of practitioners in the future, is unfounded. In 2004, the AACN issued a position statement on the practice doctorate in nursing, advocating a move to the level of preparation needed for advanced practice nurse from a master's degree to that of a doctorate by 2015. And prior to that, the IOM made recommendations, not mandates, related to the training of nurses nationwide. One recommendation was to increase baccalaureate prepared nurses from 50 to 80% by the year 2020, and the other recommendation was to try to double the number of nurses with a practice doctorate by the same year. None of those recommendations have been mandated, and the state boards of nursing have not required them of nurse practitioners. That being said, with the primary care providers lacking in number nationwide, the demand for nurse practitioners remains high and is very strong. In fact, the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics expects a growth of about 19% in this field by the year 2020. The profession of nursing, particularly in the area of nurse practitioner, is a self-sustaining one. Regarding marketability, Group 2 suggested that nurses who attain a DNP degree will neither improve their marketability or desirability in the workforce. Although PhD prepared faculty are preferred in academia, I'd like to acknowledge recent evidence that shows that DNP graduates are no more or less likely to be hired by administrators in associate degree or baccalaureate programs. There is a nationwide shortage of educators, and it is hard to fill any position. And some of the things that nurse administrators cite is the geographic location and non-competitive pay for either position make it hard to fill the open spots. And as far as the nursing faculty shortage goes, nationwide, there are openings for DNP prepared faculty members, and this is expected to grow in the future due to people who will be leaving the profession due to retirement. Also, in acute care settings, chief nursing officers cite that DNP degrees are appropriate for advanced practice nurses in roles suited and performed at the organizational level, but they did not necessarily support that the DNP was the only terminal degree option. I substantiate the fact that marketability is neither positively nor negatively impacted by the attainment of the DNP degree, and advocate that the development of emerging DNP roles, such as DNP entrepreneur, may increase the desire for someone with that specific skill set. Regarding role confusion, Group 2 argued that the DNP degree could cause role confusion among healthcare workers and suggested that possible misrepresentation of the DNP could occur in front of patients that would therefore jeopardize their patient safety. These conclusions are incorrect and misleading. First of all, the AACN DNP Practice Essentials clearly delineate the competencies of the DNP prepared nurse, which can be applied to practice settings or systems and organizations. As an expert communicator and collaborator, the DNP would be able to amplify, verify, and clarify misconceptions regarding role and expectation. Also, the notion that a DNP prepared nurse would misrepresent him or herself to any population is preposterous and unfounded, as it would be illegal and outside the RN scope of practice to do so. Once again, the DNP is expert communicator and collaborator and can clarify misconceptions regarding the role or expectations and promote the degree and let people know what DNPs are supposed to stand for. In closing the loop on the contentious nature of the DNP degree, the argument provided by Group 2 is recognized but not fully substantiated for the reasons previously outlined. Moreover, 66% of the evidence used to support the opposing group's arguments came from sources that were greater than 5 years old, which can be considered outdated and therefore of questionable value. The sources provided for this group's refutation are current and more indicative of the current dialogue surrounding the DNP role. The last point I'll discuss is that the DNP role is inappropriate for the educational setting. Group 2 argues that the educator role is not appropriate for the DNP and that incorporating DNPs within the educational setting is not the quick fix needed for nursing faculty shortages, citing the following reasons: that DNPs are insufficiently prepared educationally to work in academia based on the fact that their degree is clinically focused and not research focused, that DNPs are not prepared to assume leadership roles, that they do not have the potential to achieve tenure, and that they could potentially cause marginalization and dissension in the college climate and with other faculty members. The argument that the educator role is not appropriate for the DNP lacks weight and merit. When comparing the curriculum of DNPs and PhDs, neither one of them is rich with classes in teaching, program development, evaluation, or review. The PhD degree is research-focused, and the DNP is practice-focused. This could suggest that educational underpinnings are not present to make either degree more preferable than the other in the world of academia. Yet nearly all of PhD program grads and 60% of DNP grads assume academic roles upon completion of their studies. In fact, DNP students are encouraged to seek jobs within academia. Given the fact that the role of nurse educator is an advanced nursing role, consistent recommendations have been made that doctoral education is the preferred preparation for nurse educators, and a DNP pathway specifically for nurse educators has been promoted, though not fully adopted yet. Research exists regarding the qualifications of the DNP to hold leadership positions in the academic settings as deans, directors, or program administrators. The ability to serve as a leader is grounded in the AACN essential competencies for DNPs, specifically Essential Competency 2. Regarding the tenure process, this team acknowledges that the granting of tenure to DNP prepared faculty is a subject of debate, and that is whether graduates should hold a tenured track position or a clinical track position. While support exists to offer comprehensive guidelines for the appointment of DNPs or PhD, there is a huge variation in how these guidelines are interpreted and applied within the academic setting. DNP faculty are held to similar tenure expectations as PhD faculty. Therefore, they don't always get it. As far as faculty dissension, the argument raised by Group 2 regarding the problem of dissension among various members of academe and the DNP is unfounded. Overall, literature suggests that there is little evidence of tension or lack of acceptance for DNP prepared faculty or by other nursing faculties as reported by deans or directors, and the DNP is fully accepted into the organizational climate. Still, other research suggests slower acceptance of the degree within the university at various levels. Because of this fact, the argument that the DNP is ill-suited for practice in the academic area is not fully substantiated. In conclusion, education should never be seen as complete. The pursuit of higher education in all its forms opens doors of possibility and opportunity. According to Beverly, it is imperative that nursing leaders clearly examine the needs of society when continuing the conversation about DNP and PhD in nursing. The healthcare system is rapidly evolving, driven by multiple factors, including implementation of the Affordable Care Act, an aging population, dwindling nurse faculty resources, and technology. Collaboration between graduates of DNP and PhD programs is critical to advance science and translate research into practice. Partnership between PhD and DNP graduates provides opportunities for practice to be a direct outcome of science, therefore merging the expertise of graduates from both programs. Thank you very much.